is there something else coming? Like, is everybody freaking out for no reason? Because I know that like a slow, yeah.
This isn't a tick. I'm not sure which way you should go on this. For instance, lather, rinse, repeat, same thing we talked about yesterday. We shouldn't have expected a splash. But Curran brings up a good point. If you're going to winnow away Kyle Van Noy and you're going to trade away Shaq Mason, then you're clearing the decks for something. You're clearing that cap space for something. So I would say, yes, anticipate it. To your point as to whether or not the Patriots are looking at other teams improving and saying, well, we're going to be out of this when we don't have that kind of money. I don't think their plan is impacted by other teams necessarily this early in the offseason. But, yeah, they're kind of just biding their time.
I think what's hard about it is the window you're in and the ability that you have right now to build around a quarterback who's on a rookie contract. And you look at what the other teams did, and let's look at the other teams, right? The Chargers, very aggressive in going and building around Justin Herbert. The Jets, very aggressive in going and building around Zach Wilson. The Jaguars, very aggressive in building around Trevor Lawrence. The one team that hasn't done that is the Bears, who have a new head coach and a new general manager and have basically made the conscious decision, our defense is aged out. We need to retool a little bit. And so you see them shedding people instead of bringing them in. And you sort of wonder where in that equation the Patriots are right now. Are they in a spot where they're like, okay, we're going to need another draft or two to get where we need to be?
So we always got to look at this as a book, though. And you understood that after the last chapter, i.e. 2021, they weren't going to spend like the Jaguars or the Jets or the Chargers did in this season. So this is not a surprise. I think we're up in arms about something that we knew was coming.
I think one thing we need to look at here that's really important, like you look at the Chargers, right? And look at how the Chargers have been aggressive. How many of their guys are homegrown? Mike Williams, 100%. Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Derwin James. And I think that's like where you need to look for improvement now. A lot of it's going to have to come from inside the building and guys that you draft in a month.
And I think that's the point. I don't think anyone's looking at this, or at least I'm certainly not. And it's not only a frustration that they aren't spending a ton of money in free agency, because I don't think that's what we expected. But it does seem like they're shedding a lot of people, and and they're not replenishing that, and they don't have the guys to replenish it. So it feels like it or not, 2022 might be a bit of a reset and another bridge year.
Well, it's 1,000,000% fair to feel uncomfortable about that, because it's not just players who are unrestricted free agents going elsewhere or players being released or traded. It's the attrition on the coaching staff with Josh McDaniels or Dante Scarnecchia previously or Ernie Adams, and that whole there's not an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. So all that stuff causes consternation. But Bert's right. The root cause that makes people say, my God, who's going to go on the field, is the fact that they didn't draft well for the large part of the last 7 or 8 years.
Right. And I think, again, what would help would be Christian Barmore continuing to ascend. What would help is Ronnie Perkins showing something in year 2. What would help is Cameron McGrone being a revelation at linebacker. Because you've spent a lot of your resources to get guys from the outside, I do think a lot of the improvement's going to have to come from the inside. And now that means you're relying on what you got in the 2020 draft. Maybe Kyle Duggar takes another step. And then the guys in 21 continuing to show the promise that they showed.
And then hoping
another group.
They're hoping you hit the jackpot in 2022 and do it again and can develop those guys.